Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I'll be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for the 1-3 Human Design Profile, the Investigator Martyr. If you don't know what your Human Design Profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your Human Design Body Graph, and your profile will be listed on there. You don't need to know a ton about human design other than, of course, your profile in order for these messages to resonate. They really are intended to be an additional source or channel to receive a message, because not every 1-3 is a Cancer or, Pisces. So definitely be sure to check out your zodiac sign readings if you haven't already. Those are all up and ready to go for your viewing pleasure. And we will we'll set the intention and open the space for your message, get your cards, and then we'll talk about them. So, crown open, I anchor into the present and the truth within it. I welcome only what is clear, balanced, and aligned. All distortion, fear, and interference remain outside this space. May these messages travel through me to those who called for them, carrying honesty, clarity, and calm. All right, let's see. Let's just get 3 cards for our 1-3s. Oh, that was weird. We have the 4 of Pentacles. I feel like it did some cartwheels. How many cards is this? 3. That literally just happened in the 1-4 reading. Like, one card came out and then 3 others came out together. So yeah, I mean, immediately I'm feeling like there's this like holding pattern happening here, and it's like self-inflicted is how this feels. And the reason why I am feeling that it's like self-inflicted is because of the Devil card. I don't even think I said. So we have the 4 of Pentacles sideways. We have the Emperor, the Ace of Swords, and the Devil card. 2 4s here, which, I mean, the Devil is 15, and 1 minus 4 is, or 5 minus 1 is 4, although you never subtract numbers in numerology. So that's almost kind of like making a square peg fit into a round hole, which is interesting because I halfway wonder if that's what you're doing. It's like justifying or like trying to figure out ways to like, like the signs are actually pointing in an opposite direction, but you're like, no, that actually fits what I want it to fit, type of thing. But at the same time, it's interesting because it can fit that way, right? Like the fact that there's a 15 out here, and the fact that we have 2 4s out here, and the fact that 5 minus 1 is 4, right? It's like, yeah, I can make that fit. Although, again, in numerology, you never subtract. I've literally never heard that ever being done. You add them together to simplify numbers, right? So yeah, and like I said, even that would be self-inflicted, because it's like not honoring the truth. it's creating your own truth based on like how you want it to be, which is also, it's like that's not true. Huh, that's interesting. Because then I'm like, is it true? Or can truth that can be manipulated still be true? Like, that's interesting. Now you're making me think. Um, because it's still, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, but why? How, okay, I'm kind of waiting for the clarity or like the understanding of that to drop into my head, because okay, what we know is that 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, we're going to go down this rabbit hole for a second. And that, right? I mean, that is true. Mathematically, that is true. However, in numerology, you don't subtract numbers. So it's like there is no such thing as subtracting numbers to make it fit. So it really is, it's like manipulating the truth to fit your desired outcome. And, since it does technically fit, right? Since it factually, like in a different context, it is true. But in this one, it's literally what is keeping you in a cycle of some sort of like toxicity. I'm trying to get better at like titles, so I wanted to write something down about that so I'll remember it. And I mean, like I said, like this, there is this holding pattern here, and I halfway wonder, like it's like waiting for something to change. Not to Mitch. Okay, no, never mind. Um, I was like, oh, 1 plus 4, or, like 1 plus 4 equals, but no, it doesn't. Math. No. We cannot make that fit. um, but yeah, like it really does feel like, um, I can't, like wanting to fit a square peg into a round hole. The Emperor is Aries, or Mars, and the Devil is Capricorn or Saturn. So Saturn is in hello, um, Pisces right now, and Mars is in Sagittarius right now. So like wherever those placements are for you, if it even matters. But also interesting, this could definitely be a connection because we have, a feminine presenting-ish, right? I mean, I'm just basically going off of colors here, which is not great for gendifying, somebody. But we have a feminine presenting to me, like person here. We have a masculine presenting person, which again, we have no evidence that this is a masculine other than it being the emperor. And then in the devil card over here, there are two people in this card as well. So, again, it can be some sort of connection, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection. It could be literally with anybody, at all genders. It doesn't, I'm just using that as a way of saying, this is one person, this is another person. Okay. Again, like it could be your job, it could be your boss, it could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be a romantic partnership. It could even, of course, be your relationship to yourself, because we all have the masculine and feminine, like energies within ourselves, right? And again, like with the Four of Pentacles being sideways, that to me feels like being in a holding pattern, being in limbo, but also you're keeping yourself there. For me, when the top of when a card comes out sideways and the top of the card is on the right side, it's working its way to reverse, like kind of clockwise. If the top of the card were to come out on the right or on the left side, it would be working its way into upright. But again, like the top of your card came out on the right side, so it's working its way into reverse. But with it being on its side, there is this period of limbo. I'm just kind of curious. Lack of discipline, greed, loyalty too. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our energy and our physical time. Like, where are you physically showing up in your life? Where are you spending your energy? We do tend to exchange our energy and our time for compensation, it's our health. It's also, anything that we place worth and value in, it's the worth and value that we see within ourselves, and other people too, situations, and, like anything tangible that you can touch. Your home, your car, your, possessions. So, and also the Four of Pentacles is the beginning of what creates the lack and scarcity that's in the Five of Pentacles, because it is holding on too tight. And we start holding on too tight because we're afraid that we're not going to have enough, that if we spend the money in our savings, that we'll never get it back, or that we'll end up in a situation where we could have used that money, or if it's loyalty to whatever, loyalty to a job, to a relationship, to a friendship, we're worried that like we wouldn't find better, or that would create an opening in our lives that we don't want to have to deal with. Yeah, especially if it's codependent, which could be the Devil card. Right? Like like maybe we think that we can't find better, that there isn't better out there, whether it is a job, again, connections and whatever that capacity is. But that's, again, you keeping yourself in limbo. The Emperor card is like taking charge, regaining control. This could be a person that is in control of the situation, and maybe that's a role that they have created for themselves as well. Like they're the ones that kind of determine like what happens. it's almost like you have given up your sense of control to them. Um, which again, I believe is what it's like what's the word? Sorry, I'm not just gonna keep saying oh dang it. It's a pattern that they have. That's not it. A role maybe that they have established for themselves. And they have that role because they diminished yours in some capacity. But also this Emperor card is here to be like, you got it. Like you are the one who is going to change this situation for you. You know, like when we think divine masculine energy, not gender, but, you know, divine masculine energy, it is initiating, going and getting, you know, hustling. It's audacity too. Um, Control, discipline. So it's interesting that over here, you know, with the card being sideways, there's almost like a misplaced discipline or like a misplaced loyalty. Use logic when decision making and always consider how your actions impact the bigger picture. This is a time to set firm rules and boundaries to better your life or situation. Planning, organizing, and setting realistic goals should be the focus. It really does like feel like standing firm in your boundaries, like making a decision and sticking with it. You know, taking action. But it's like, you know, action that is aligned with your goals, where you want to go, where you want to be, even like who you want to like grow into, or you know, like who you are even becoming. Because also too, like if it's like something where you have outgrown a job, a situation, whatever, you know, relationship, whatever it is, like if you have outgrown it in whatever capacity, it's just not really working so much anymore. And if it is something that is keeping you small, stuck in, you know, like kind of in a box, this Emperor card is also a message about showing up authentically, you know, like reinforcing your energy into yourself, taking steps forward, going for your potential, right? Like it's recognizing that of the potential that you have. And if you've been holding yourself back, you know, it's committing yourself to your own potential, taking those steps, taking things seriously, regaining control, discipline. I love that the Ace of Swords is between the Emperor and The devil card, because it's like, it truly is a mindset shift. You could discover a truth about yourself or about the situation. Literally changing your mind will change your life type of thing. Logic again, and the emperor was talking about using logic. Even like I just heard in my head, cutting through bullshit, but also not only cutting through bullshit, but recognizing where you're bullshitting yourself. Because like going back to that rabbit hole that we went down, in the beginning with the fours and the devil card and oh, but 1 or 5 minus 1 is 4, but that whole square peg round hole, like trying to make something fit, right? It really is like recognizing your own bullshit, and too, like where that is preventing you from shining. I mean, we have the sun out here too, which is joy and bliss and recognition and happiness. It's literally like the everything good card. Balance, even, I don't know, that just came to mind. But yeah, like, and it's recognizing too, like where you are maybe holding yourself in limbo for whatever reason. And I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to be like a big production of anything. It's just an awareness of, and then changing your actions, your expression, your discipline, what your focus is on, how you're going about approaching things, right? I mean, like the emperor is very confident. I mentioned the word audacity, right? I mean, it's the whole, having the audacity of a mediocre white dude. Yeah, like recognizing where you're bullshitting yourself. Even too, like if you're spending your time, your money, your energy, whatever on bullshit, like if you're just kind of not really like considering your health or whatever, uh, like call yourself out on your own BS and, find the truth in that, reconnect with the truth of that. And maybe part of that is recognizing the truth of, whatever it is that is toxic, a pattern, a way of thinking, spending, I mean, the devil card has to do with obsessions, addictions, also just distortion in general, and that comes from our like gremlins, shame, embarrassment, our self-worth, even thinking that we couldn't find better, there isn't better out there, blah, blah, blah. Like I'd rather be in this situation because I can't imagine a better one. Well, that's the whole thing too, is that we truly are only limited by our own imagination. And I mean, literally anything is possible. But if you're like keeping yourself in a situation because you're scared, or if that's the story that you're telling yourself because you don't want to deal with the fallout, or you don't want to, again, codependency too. Like that's hard to recognize and also like get out of and heal from once you are kind of out of it, there's like these little strings that are wrapped around these two, and then they're like being, the devil has them in their hands. And again, like this is just an energy. Like I don't believe in the devil as an entity. I also don't believe in God as an entity. If you do, fine, great. right? I mean, I just don't want the devil to be this like scary thing. And I hate the way that a lot of people talk about the devil in general. So I'm like, I just don't want to create a ton of fear and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm like, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This is just the energy. This is, again, the codependency. This is a lack of boundaries, a lack of discipline. This is an expression of your own like insecurity and your own lack of self-worth that believes that whatever the situation is, that's where you deserve to be, because I can tell you it's not. And with the Ace of Swords being out here, I feel like somewhere in your mind, you already know that. And it's really, like grasping that within yourself. We have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck, and then the Hermit, and then the Three of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. Okay, we have the Hierophant, which is a 5. We have the Hermit, the Three of Swords, the Ten of Cups, 5 of Wands. Strength. Yeah, the Hierophant is just kind of like confirming the like kind of loyalty thing to me, like hierarchy thing. It could be also too like putting something on a pedestal, like putting something above yourself. It's putting that loyalty above yourself. Also, the Hierophant is about tradition and like passing along traditional like teachings. And again, like if you have a belief that you have to stay in a job for whatever reason, because they trained you, because you have so many years in there, because of the pay, because whatever, right? Like if you are in a relationship, even a marriage too, and you're staying in it because divorce is taboo, which, I mean, it's 2025. It's not, and I've been divorced twice. So, it's the belief systems. It's the tradition or the things that and too that you have your values and like your morals in. But if those things are causing you harm, if they are preventing your growth, if they are keeping you in limbo, then there's got to be some sort of shift and in perspective with that. You've got to allow yourself to tweak those things. Or even interpret those things differently. Like you can still have those values, but recognize that, when situations, relationships, jobs, whatever, like when those things start causing you harm, again, and by that I just mean, keeping you in limbo, keeping you stuck, keeping you, like preventing you from growing, from, reaching your own true potential, those things no longer align with your values. Because the energy has shifted, right? So that's like the recognition that you need to have. And then we have the Hermit card on top of the Emperor card. This to me feels like forging your own path. Anytime, like with the Hermit, and the Hierophant is Taurus, the Hermit is Virgo. Anytime the Hermit card comes out, I always like imagine, like our paths are unique to ourselves, and we follow our own, inner guidance, or, we follow the guidance from God, source, divine, spirit, if you believe in a higher power. It's honoring that. It's recognizing too that the situation that you're in is also part of your path. It's part of your growth. It's part of your development. It's also, if there is another person involved, whatever, however that other person is involved, it's part of their journey and their own personal growth as well. And if there's a separation in there, then that means that literally you guys have probably been working or walking on different paths for a while, but like staying, connected somehow. And it's, by you being released and them being released, and you can truly connect with your potential and reach that destination that you are destined for. We have the Three of Swords on top of the Ace of Swords. This is sadness, heartbreak, usually, but it's swords, so it has to do with our perception of that, the way that we think about it, the beliefs that we have. It's, disappointment, rejection. It is the release or that separation from something, but it's not easy. It will hurt. It has probably been hurtful in some kind of way, like not, and I just mean, again, we're talking swords, so we're talking our mental landscape, right? There has been some sort of something that, chipping away at our values. Since I was just talking about that, I feel like this is also, like, with it being on the Ace of Swords, I feel like this is what I was literally already saying. So I'm not necessarily going to go down and repeat myself, but like, it really is, like recognizing and acknowledging your own BS. It could also even be recognizing that what is almost keeping you stuck is your fear of the loss. It could be, of course, like you don't want the other person or the whatever, to feel rejected. And it's also, it's like one of those things of like, you're taking responsibility for things that aren't yours to be responsible for. You are responsible for you, right? Like, and you don't have to be hurtful. And, and if it is just hurtful because of the loyalty, the time, the energy that you've invested into the thing, that is going to be hurtful, and it is going to take an adjustment period. But that's also, it's like no reason to keep yourself there because you don't want to like deal with it. That's, again, it's continuing the cycle of self harm. And like abandoning your own values. And then we have the Ten of Cups on the Devil card. This to me feels like finding community, connections, home with people who are in alignment with you. Like the Ten of Cups is the minor arcana card to the Sun card. It is everything good. It's feeling purposeful. It's feeling fulfilled. It's being involved with and surrounded by people who are, I was going to say something else and I don't know, it just kind of took me in a different direction, but it's, finding connection and community with people who are in alignment with your values. I'm really not sure if it would be like with the same person or like with the same job, like if it would be a matter of, really just kind of laying all your cards out on the table and being like this is this is how I am feeling in this connection, in this opportunity, whatever. And this is kind of what's changed for me. And how I would need this connection to change to fit, within my values, like within my alignment is this way. Not in an effort for somebody else to change, right? Because again, that would be trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, but just saying like, this is where I'm at. This is how I'm feeling. These are the things that like I would need to see change in this in order for me to remain in this space. But also, I mean, like, you really have to be committed to leaving if that doesn't change, or if it doesn't, you know what I mean, shift. I'm like, the more that I'm talking about it, I feel like this is a completely different situation than these two in here. But I'm not sure if I'm trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. So I'll leave that to you. I know also too that every single one of any relationship or connection that I've ever been in, nothing about that would have changed. And I have stayed way longer than I should have in jobs and relationships, waiting for things to change. Like if I change my behavior, if I act this way, if I try to display, I was never really all that good at communication, which is key, which is huge, right? Like communicating your feelings. But nothing would have changed in those connections. Nothing ever did like change in those connections. So I think that's why I'm perceiving this 10 of Cups as being a completely different situation. It's finding, again, community, family, people that, romantic connections that are already like because that's the way that they operate. That's the way that they live. Those are the same values that they have already, right? So that's why I think it's something different. And the Five of Wands here is, it really feels like you're going to have to be the one, of course, because I mean, we only talk about you really, in these readings, but like it really is going to take you committing, blocking out any bullshit. It's like changing your actions. Again, like blocking actions from other people that are trying to, remain the same, like almost kind of trying to like reel you back into the sameness that you already feel uncomfortable in. There can be some conflict, of course, with the Five of Wands. But also, like, if you've been in limbo for a while, like, you really do have to put oomph into your actions to, like, get you out of limbo, to get you out of your comfort zone. And you do have to limit access to other people, or limit other people's access to you. You have to make your mind up and stick with it, kind of thing. The Strength card. Yeah, again, right? Like, perseverance, determination, bravery, courage. This is Leo. It's like honoring yourself and like finding the strength within yourself. Like, really, really honing in on that, really connecting to it. This is what I deserve. This is what I want. And I'm not going to accept anything other than that anymore. And the Two of Pentacles, like taking steps. It's restoring balance here. The Four of Wands. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I feel like I could probably keep going. But Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards, and I close this space with gratitude and ease. All energies are released, returning to the rightful paths. May what was received be integrated with clarity and peace. Bye.